For what? It's gotta be almost a year now,
Pretty
huh?
much, yeah. I mean, shit. It takes a while to get through it. I mean, that's why it's game of the year, because it takes a whole year to beat it.
No, I like that you're still trying though. That really inspires me. Maybe one day I won't have to pay to win in games.
Maybe one day you'll play one. Pecky's ready?
Stupid.
Okay. All right, guys. Give me 1 second. We get started with Allcraft, and we're gonna do this. Usually, like obviously, we do the whole the whole like production thing. So I'm gonna go offline for like 1 second, and then it'll come back on. Give me 1 sec. Okay. I have the disconnect connection on, so it should be fine. I'm gonna turn it off right now.
Alright, remember to force quit it.
Yeah. I got the task manager open.
Alright,
Huh. Free does not mean shit. Ah, what? I literally start streaming his thing and it starts doing that. What happened, man? Ugh. I wanted to watch this. Oh shit, they kidnapped Toki.
And the max level is 200. Yeah. So yeah. That, all right. Yeah. You farm. You farm.
Oh, it's still loading?
Folks, we've been doing Allcraft for about 9 fucking years. Granted, we've only probably done 5 episodes with how frequently we take breaks, but a lot
Man,
has
I
changed
wanted to
over
watch
that
Elden
time.
Ring.
We've both grown balder,
Whatever.
we've both grown slightly saltier. I think that I've actually surpassed you in balding, at least I'm really good at that. But I feel like one of the big things that has really
what do you guys wanna
changed
watch? Let's watch.
is the way that games are trying to take our money. And I feel like that's a thing that we are definitely going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about MMOs as a whole, but also just kind of in general, talk about what
YouTube. See, what do we got?
This feels like a trap designed by some kind of sick genius.
I got no bedroom.
Hats off to you, sir or madame. Your trap was a success. You've all forgotten about the music. I quit the band. I'm just pretending. We're 3 nice dudes having fun. We got warm bubble water on our bun. I love this spot, and that's a fact. But if I stay too long, I get a pruny back. Man, don't you know? The laws ain't made to help earthy cats like us. They're not? Nah, man.
Nah, man.
Your trap was a success.
Wait, what?
You've all forgotten about the music.
How did I do that? Oh, that's why. It was the second one.
Prescription must have been built around the same time as Leyndell.
Peace out.
And we all experience grief, heartbreak and loss. But for most of us, these moments are buoyed by the support of our loved ones and the beauty that can be found in the world. Yet what if these moments of grief could be distilled into a single element. The collective grief and suffering of humanity coalesced into a single form, a powerful force that sought to undo the mistake of life itself. These are the powerful philosophical ideas behind those who have succumbed to the flame of frenzy, to those who would seek to bring about a lord of chaos and burn away the diversity of life. However, behind the philosophy and human element to this story, there are other cosmic facets that are a little harder to grasp. The story of a force that exists solely to reduce the work of the greater will and burn it down to ash. A force that is born of the collective suffering of this world and has manifested itself not only as a powerful concept, but an actual power that threatens to swallow the world. So join me this week as we finally tackle the mysteries of the frenzied flame and the three fingers. But before we start, guys, remember that if you like Elden Ring lore content, then consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, as I have hours of lore content for you to enjoy. Before we begin this video, I do wish to acknowledge two very important videos by other creators that have greatly influenced my core ideas on this subject and some of the lore of the Frenzied Flame. These videos are the Lore Hunter's Sabriri video and Radatascor's video on the Frenzied Flame. And while I will directly reference these videos at certain points, I wanted to make it clear that these videos have influenced me at a foundational level. So I think the best place to begin when talking about the Frenzied Flame is talking about its gestation within the lands between, and how it has come to exist in this world. And by this I don't mean its summoning at the hands of the Great Caravan, nor Shabriri's role in helping spread this force throughout the land, though we will talk about these subjects both shortly. Rather, I mean the conditions that allow this force to exist in the first place, where it comes from, and how it is able to be summoned.
Maybe we should get some
and
DVDs
spread
and watch
in the
them.
first
That'd be
place.
fun, right?
In my Outer Gods lore video, I presented what I believe to be a fairly solid analysis of the Outer Gods, and I would recommend that you watch that, but I will still go over the foundational ideas for the sake of analysing the Frenzied Flame and the Three Fingers. In that video, we posited that the Outer Gods are akin to the concept of kami, and this idea came to my attention thanks to a commenter, Great Cosmic Axolotl, and then I discussed the subject with Sabako no Meiko's translator, Mirko, and they let me know that this is one of the prevailing understandings of the Outer Gods in the Japanese lore community. The kami are essentially gods or spirits, which are manifestations or personifications of concepts that were created as a consequence of the Elden Ring's creation. And to basically explain this idea in better detail, I will quote Mirko now. Kami are more akin to natural forces, part of the nature itself. They are water, plants, trees, sun, moon, snow, etc. The Outer Gods are, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the greater part of the Japanese community, just that. Powers, energies that flow through the world, and that creatures can channel with prayers and rituals. And these kami, are considered outer because they are opposite to the golden
guy's
order
a
founded by
psycho.
America.
Look at this dude.
If you notice, most of these outer gods are tied to the concept of death.
Keyboard,
Rot is
guitar.
decomposition, frenzied flame is chaos and absence of order, and the formless mother is blood, loss of blood, etc. So kami
wanna
is
see
a
something
concept
cool?
in Shintoism, where gods are manifestations of natural concepts and fundamental elements in the world and of life. I was also informed by various commenters that this idea isn't exclusive to Shinto, and is linked to the idea of animism, the idea that all natural phenomena have a spirit. As Mirko states here, the main reason the outer gods are considered outer is because they are external to the current ruling order. But importantly, they are still linked to concepts created by the Elden Ring, and they are not cosmic beings that are rivals to the greater will, as I once believed myself. So returning to the Frenzied Flame, this concept is heavily implied to be an outer god as well, via the descriptions of the varying stages of the unalloyed gold Michelin needle, described as an implement designed to ward away the influence of the outer gods, and its only true use in-game is to ward away the influence of the Frenzied Flame. Thus it is suggested that the Frenzied Flame is an outer god. So to understand where the Frenzied Flame may have come from, we need to explain the origins of this world, and how we believe these outer gods fit into this world. So once again, as we have so many times on this channel, we need to refer to Hayeta's important dialogue regarding the creation of diversity of life and the separation of the one great. And while we listen to this, it is important to bear in mind that the author of this speech is the Three Fingers, as she reveals this after we touch her with the Frenzied Flame, and divines these words from the Three Fingers themselves. So we of course must consider their bias when considering the following words.
The words of the Three Fingers. As your maiden, allow me to divine them. All that there is came from the one great. Then came fractures, and births, and souls. But the greater will made a mistake. Torment, despair, affliction, every sin, every curse, every one born of the mistake. And so, what was borrowed must be returned, melted all away with the yellow chaos flame. until all is one again.
So in essence, Hayeta here tells us that once life was indistinguishable, but the actions of the greater will led it to becoming fractured. I have posited in the past that the arrival of the Elden Beast and the Elden Ring, as described by the Elden Stars incantation, was the event that stimulated this change, as a result of the Elden Ring's influence. In many ways, the Elden Ring is the body that governs the world itself, and its order, and so to me it makes sense that the Elden Ring's arrival and its power would have led to the One Great forming to reflect the influence of the Elden Ring. I would thus suggest that each facet of the world was also formed out of this One Great by the Elden Ring. Elements and fundamentals such as death, life, disease, fire, water, etc. This too is an opinion shared by some in the Japanese lore community, as we learn the following via Mirko. For this interpretation, it is implied that they were born the instant the Greater Will sent the Golden Star into the lands between. With this interpretation, it is implied the natural forces are also born with it, therefore the gods themselves.
Better get
It's just one of the many speculations of the Japanese community, but I thought it was right to add this information anyway. So thanks again to Mirko for that information. So it therefore follows that if we are suggesting that the Frenzied Flame is one of these outer gods, one of these manifestations of a worldly element, then we must be suggesting that the Frenzied Flame was also born with the arrival of the Elden Ring, and the creation of the world as we know it, and the separation of the One Great.
The One Great.
That in a way,
The
this
separation.
makes sense, as the Frenzied Flame definitely is the embodiment of a number of ideas.
That was my first
However,
ending.
it is unique among the outer gods, in that it exists almost as a mirror reflection of the Greater Will's order, and in opposition to it, rather than trying to fit into it. Mirko's understanding of the Frenzied Flame is that it is the concept of chaos, or absence of order. And while there are philosophical nuances to this, which we will discuss momentarily, I do think that this is more or less close to the truth of what the Frenzied Flame is meant to embody, what its kami or outer god is embodying. In this world, order is essentially structure, giving life structure, as the Greater Will did when it fractured the One Great, giving life form and ordering it from an indistinguishable, chaotic mass. And so when the One Great was shattered and fractured by the Greater Will, all these concepts and fundamentals of the world exist in balance. Where there is death, there is life. Where there is light, there is dark. And so of course, when the Greater Will created the idea and the concept of
Oh
order,
shit, what's up, Johnny?
it must have
Sorry.
created disorder by default. Every concept has an opposite.
You're off
And
work the
therefore
rest
I
of the
do agree
day.
with Mirko's interpretation
Games
that
and
these
stream
hands
all
came into
day.
being due to the ordering
I'm just
done by the
working.
Elden Ring, and
And
with it the creation of fundamental laws and concepts.
Maybe.
Balance in all things,
working. I'm working on
even
my
if that means there is a force in opposition.
I was like, what do you mean? I'm working on my phone.
So with order came a shadow.
funny.
A shadow
I turn
that
on my
holds
stream
no
on my phone
central
too,
and
though, so I have it in the
fundamental
background and
facet
get more
to the
views.
Elden Ring's domain, order itself. And with that, we can assume that this force would have had
How
the
are you?
potential to manifest a god, a kami, much like the other outer gods, hence the outer god of the Frenzied Flame.
We've seen the
And
new
as
baby
Mirko
Johnny.
said, each of these
Johnny's
outer gods,
so-
each of these concepts can have their own followers and worshippers who can help channel its power. We have, of course, the Mogwin dynasty and the Bloody Fingers who serve the outer god of blood, and we have the devoted of rot like Gowrie who serve the outer god of rot. And in this case, with the outer god of the Frenzied Flame, it is no different. There are those who worship the outer god.
Yeah, you
of
would
the
know because
Frenzied
you have kids
Flame.
too, anyways.
So the story of those who would become representatives of this particular ideology is something quite intriguing, and somewhat confusing, but it is important for us to assess in order to get a stronger understanding of the Frenzied Flame. For me, the best place to start when analysing the adherents of this particular ideology would be with the fingerprint stone shield, which reads as follows. A great stone shield with an intricately carved fingerprint design, one of the heaviest of all shields. Part of the tomb of an ancient god, the readerless
Little
fingers
baby
relay
time,
their
that's right.
messages to these imprints, said to be the very seeds from which frenzy first spouted.
The
This
kids are
is a
probably
really
grown up by
fascinating
now.
piece of lore, because it firstly tells us that this is the source of the flame of frenzy.
How old are your
But that is something we will
sons?
consider in the next
I know you
chapter.
told me about them before.
However, what I want to discuss in this current chapter is the idea of the god
You-
of
you-
the frenzied flame. And thus it's interesting
she is.
in this fingerprint
Thanks,
stone
appreciate
shield's
it.
description that we get mention
She's
of an ancient god.
October
that was
2nd
placed
was when
within
she
a
was
tomb.
born, so she's, yeah.
Now, where this tomb is,
Literally
should be a
a month
straightforward
old.
one for the player to discern,
Like,
as we
about to be
find the
2.
shield itself in the tomb of the Great Caravan, directly above the three fingers themselves. Indeed, the tragic caravan is described to have been entombed in the description of the nomad's ashes.
She's in a boob coma.
But what is this tomb, and what is the ancient god that was entombed within?
Oh, she heard
We
the
learn
word
via
boob and
fingerprint
her eyes
shield
just went
that
open.
unlike the two fingers who have interpreted, like the finger reader
8
in
and
Neo,
16, yeah,
the
so
three
you know.
fingers have no start
That's a
here,
big gap too.
and thus
Our,
they use
I think
fingerprints to
ours are
convey
like
their
all
messages.
what?
But the
6,
question
7 year
remains,
gaps.
whose
So.
message? Is it their own, or are they envoys like the two
Yeah, they're both
fingers
6
are?
years apart.
Well, the first suggestion that I have for you is that
Oh.
it's the message of the three fingers
You already know
themselves,
how it
a
goes.
case of Occam's razor, if you will, given that it is the three fingers that we find in the tomb, and the three fingers are mentioned in the same breath as the ancient god in the fingerprint shield's description, and that it is the three fingers that are considered the god, and they do not play the same envoy role that the two fingers do for the greater will. I do also believe that this is backed up by the item Note the Lord of Frenzied Flame, as it reads the following. Beneath Lane Dale, at the bottom, lies our Lord.
Johnny says
Lord
the
of
boob comas are
frenzy,
the best
the three
comas.
fingers who hold us in thrall. The specific wording here, to me at
Right?
least,
Sleep for another
suggests
couple
that the three
hours. You're
fingers are
fine. You just need to
revered
grow
not just
more.
as envoys of the Frenzied Flame, but as a lord or god themselves. I believe that the three fingers are the corporeal manifestation.
Yeah, I'm working on my phone
of
right
the
now, and I'm
family
trying to
or
text some of my
outer god of
coworkers.
chaos,
All I'm doing
and that they
is
take the form that they do
trying to get
because
some
of what it
stream
stands
time in
for.
while
It
I'm
stands
sitting
for
here.
reunification. I've never been one to believe that there was
I
once
need to
a
stream more because
five-finger
having
hand, and that it was
kids
split
is
after the one
a little
great was
time
split,
consuming.
because, first of all,
Trying
there
to
are
figure
multiple
out
two fingers, so the
how
math
often
doesn't
do
add up
stream
anyway.
and when to stream.
So rather than seeing these three fingers as
You
something
know what I
that
mean?
was literally torn off a five-fingered hand, I instead see them as a manifestation of
What
the
do you do
god
for
of
work
chaos
anyways,
itself,
Johnny?
its chosen form meant to symbolically oppose the two fingers representing the other three of a whole five, a reflection of its goal to return the world to a single
You
state
playing-
of matter.
Are you
The way in which these three fingers communicate only serves to further contrast them with their two finger counterparts.
What do you do for work,
The
bro?
two-finger heirloom highlights the fact that the two fingers communicate in a more graceful and organized manner, as it reads the following. Fingers cannot speak, yet these were eloquent. Persistently did they wriggle, spelling out mysteries
Oh.
in the air.
She was
Thus
eating
they
so
became
much,
words,
like she was like
the
eating like
words of our faith.
every hour. It's
The two
insane.
fingers wriggle and are
And
interpreted by
luckily,
finger
you know,
readers, and from these come the words
my
of the
spouse,
faith,
she has the time off right
transcribed
now.
into cipher, as
She's
shown
starting
by
to
the
finally
cipher
sleep
pattern,
throughout the nights.
a
Thank
language
God.
of light. It is also
It was getting a little crazy. Her trying to take care of the baby and, you know, breastfeed and do all that at the same time. Ah, fuck, I fucked up. Alright, here we go. I want to watch this one. The Outer Gods.
the outer god,
Oh, that's cool.
nebulous, influential, and utterly
You could kind of say she does
very few
non-profit.
topics in Elden Ring are of more interest to the community than the outer gods, no doubt as a result
she works
of their
with
enigmatic
kids.
presentation and permeation through different aspects
But
of
in
the
law,
lore.
protecting him.
Bloodborne presented the idea
From
of cosmic
DCS.
gods to the Soulsborne community, and as a
So,
result,
lawyer
it is easy
stuff.
to view the outer gods through a similar lens. And this is entirely reasonable, given the massive cosmic elements
It's
present.
Thanksgiving
throughout the
week,
game,
of course it's
and
going to
the
be a
fact
lot
that the
lighter.
term
What
outer
do you
god
expect, buddy?
is a term used in expanded Lovecraftian mythos. But is this the correct understanding of these beings? Or are we, as a Western audience, missing
Definitely,
something?
bro.
Is there something deeper that the outer gods are
I wish I
meant to
had
convey?
boobs and I can
Or
help.
whether you ascribe to the theory that the Greater Will is a
Yeah,
supreme
she
being
does.
or not, some of the interactions between the Greater Will's
I'm not saying
order
the parents are
and
always the
outer
best
gods
people, but
makes our understanding of the
you know, a
latter
lot of
confused.
times
Instances
they don't
where we
deserve to
see these
be
apparently
taken away
opposing
from
forces
their parents,
playing a role within
even
the Elden
considering the
Ring's domain,
circumstances.
or
Because if you put a
instances
kid in
of
a place at
contradictory
home, it's
information
usually a lot worse than it
regarding
was just being at
two-fingers
the home
and
with the kid
intelligence.
anyways.
Do
Yes,
these outer
attorney.
gods in fact present something different?
For sure.
Concepts of fundamental laws made manifest, brought about through the power of the Elden Ring itself, only to find themselves excluded by the current order.
I apologize for my nose too.
In
I
this
need to go
video, we will do our
put
best to
some
answer
nasal
the
spray
question
in.
of the outer gods by looking at it more carefully from a
This area right here on the stream where Moog is and shit, there used to be this glitch. You can jump in the mountains back here, where my mouse is, and you can jump off the edge and get like 50,000 runes to 100,000 runes a pop. I did that glitch for so long. You must be a boob guy, bro. Because I wouldn't even be that much enticed by boobs. I'm an ass guy. I love ass. She's got both assets, so we're just going to keep that there.
Japanese cultural perspective. So join me this week, guys, as we try and answer the question, what are the outer gods? But before we start, guys, remember that if you like Elden Ring lore, then please subscribe to the channel, as I have hours of Elden Ring lore content for you to enjoy. I was wrong. That is how I want to
Oh, I
start
got
this
the Elden
video.
Ring lore
And it
book
isn't the
too,
first
bro.
time that
It's
I've
freaking
attempted such a
awesome.
thing. And I do think it is important for me as a lore theorist, and for us as a lore community, to continually change and evolve our perspectives on certain subjects. In my last lore video on the Greater Well, I posited the theory that the Greater Well is the god with a capital G, and I stand by my premise that the Greater Well
If you ever
is
get a
something
chance, just
distinct
check out my
from the
YouTube
outer
channel.
gods.
I haven't posted like
However,
actual
something that
videos
I
on it in a while,
acknowledged
but I
that
do a
didn't
lot
quite
of
fit
live
right
streams on
was
there
my
now.
characterization of the
I'm
outer
trying
gods
to.
themselves. I posited
I want to
that
do
the
more
Greater Well
videos
was
again
a
with my
supreme
brother.
creator god, and
My brother likes to be depressed and go through a lot of phases, though, just like I do. He goes through them a lot heavier, though. That's the problem. And yes, ha 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 ha. Duh, 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 duh. See, look at that. You like both of them. I don't care that much about boobs. I like ass because I could be like, just stare at it when you're like, yeah. My kid went through a phase where he was slapping her butt. I was like, oh my god. I was like, why? Come on, dude. Don't be slapping my beautiful woman's butt. Do that to your own mom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the plan. I don't stream it all the time because sometimes we only play for like an hour or two. Or like we jump on when it's like we barely both have enough time, so I'm not trying to spend like 15 minutes trying to set up a goddamn stream. Because if you notice in my background, my green screen changes all the time for some reason. So it's always, because my TV is so big, it keeps deflecting like the lighting. So every time the tint or like whatever shades of the color of the TV change, it changes the background of my prop. So therefore my green screen color keeps changing every time. It keeps changing different shades. But yeah, we're gonna do. We'll probably end up playing tomorrow. We try to at least do once or twice a week, so that's fun. Not gonna lie, bro. It's probably that and Cyberpunk and Spelunky are my 3 favorite games this year for sure. Well, weird story. My brother was working with my mom. My mom's an OBGYN, like supervisor specialist or whatever. She went into geriatrics, running an office, a health office for, you know, geriatrics, old people. And she was there for almost 2 years, and she was working with my brother. She got him the job. She quit, and now he is stuck at that job, and the new management is running him into the ground, making him travel all the time and do all this crazy shit and hardly get any time off from work. So he's kind of like, he doesn't want to be there anymore, and that's the problem, is that I want to hang out with him more, but it's a lot harder to hang out with him when he doesn't want to do anything because he's so angry at his job. You know, he's like going to Colorado, he's going to Tucson, we're in Mesa, Arizona, so he's going to like all these different places, he's having to travel everywhere, and he just doesn't like it because they don't pay him much, and they're so meticulous about management and just, you know, making sure everyone's doing the right shit. But they were already one of the top offices before the new management took over, so it's like you had nothing really to improve on, and this company is trying to, yeah, right, Spelunky, hell yeah. And I can't even get halfway past it. I think the furthest I've gotten to is without any help was probably after the water world, like right after it, and I died. But yeah, my brother's like super, I want to say depressed right now, that badly, because we still hang out, but we just, you know, smoke weed and drink. And yeah, it's Thanksgiving week, bro. Happy Thanksgiving. And obviously your workload is probably a lot lighter because it's Thanksgiving. Turkeys are on shortages too. I forget that. Oh shit, you just subscribed? Cool. Thanks, bro. I didn't even know you weren't subscribed. Was the last time you streamed? Like 2 months ago? I think I saw that the other day. I was like, jeez, bro. I'm like, I thought I didn't stream for a while. Who's your favorite character in Spelunky so far? Not gonna lie, I mod it, so I think Ice King and Gengar are my favorite though. Hey, I've been trying to help him. He doesn't like taking meds anymore. He's gotten over the meds. So I just try to be the bigger bro and help him out. And yeah, if you want to see what my brother looks like, or like we do the videos on YouTube, you see how much we actually try to work together like on YouTube. It's kind of funny. Like I kind of find it I find it amusing because it's like seeing us like that. But as soon as I get more, if I could get him to sit down for a whole day, we can make some more videos. What my goal was to do a bunch of Nintendo Switch games and then maybe switch to PlayStation 5 games since I bought him a PlayStation 5. And then maybe, excuse me, when I get like him a PC. Yeah, I know, I saw that. I said thank you. Oh, you subscribed to my YouTube too. Okay, cool. Thanks, buddy. So yeah, I did see my brother though. Like we had to take a whole day. We play like the game. If you watch the videos that I made for the videos we review, I actually have 2 TVs where we set up the 2 TVs and we play them for like an hour or so. And then we play that in the background when we talk about the games, which is pretty cool. I did see that too. Thanks. And but yeah, my brother and I, we try to do like in-depth reviews while we're playing them in the background. So if you saw like the 2 TVs in the background, and then I am just learning how to edit, so you can tell my editing skills are not on par quite yet. Like every time I look down on my little note sheet, I'm like, oh yeah, what are we talking about? Oh yeah. Jeez, this thing does not focus well. Yeah, it's sad whenever yeah, people dealing with that. I mean, I go through it too. Not in as big phases, but just one of those things where we have to take care of it. My problem is I'm super ADD, so I'm always trying to do stuff or finish stuff or do whatever, and then like if I have too many things end up on my plate, I go through like a really tough depression until I get through that shit real quick. But you know, you and I have talked about our crazy exes, so you know how it is. I deal with the crazy ex all the time, and I just like keep my mouth shut, just shut up, hang out with my son. Maybe next time, whenever my son comes over, we'll stream Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was actually really fun. Him, my brother, and I actually played that last week, and all three of us played. And then maybe next time Kyle comes over, I am John from. We could also do it and have like 4 players. It's a lot of work, dude. If you've tried it, you know it's pretty tedious to do all this stuff.
And the Outer Gods were rival cosmic beings.
They all turned down the volume so I can play the video at least while I'm
Viewers
talking.
were right in pointing out holes in this argument that I did not address properly, such as describing the
What
Outer
other are
Gods
your favorite
as
games
cosmic
in your top
deities
5, bro?
trying to corrupt the creation of the greater will. But as pointed out by commenters, the Outer God of the Deathbirds, for example, is not a corrupting force. Rather, all we see of the Deathbirds is that they are guides of the dead and overseers of the funerary rites. I acknowledge that these types of questions did hinder my characterization of the Outer Gods
Yeah,
as lesser cosmic deities to the greater will. And ultimately, it has led me to try and understand the Outer Gods.
My lady, the lawyer, is the one who helps me with my
To
ex.
that end, I do think that we, of the Western...
One of her really good friends
have a
is
lot to
pro
gain
bono for
by
me, and she
tackling
really
the
fucking
ideas
helps my
being
life.
discussed in the Japanese lore community.
If it wasn't for her,
And that is
I
in part why I
would
aim
be
to
in the
do
biggest
in this
depression.
video. It is at this
My
point
lady
I
and her
consider
friend.
that some of these ideas
Her friend
are
used
not
to be
my
an
original
ex-cop.
work. Rather, they came
She's
to
an
my attention
ex-cop,
by
because
the
if I
great
said
cosmic
ex-cop, that
action
means she
local,
was a cop.
a viewer who commented
But
these ideas on
she's
one of
all
my
about
Facebook
helping
posts.
families and
And in
kids,
turn,
and she's
they
pro
cite the
weed,
famous
she's pro a
Italian
lot of
YouTuber
stuff. You know, she's like
Tobacco
one of
Mimiko
those
as their original
very
source
few
in
liberal
episode 38 of
fucking
their Elden Ring playthrough.
cops
So I
that
will
we
link
get
that
that's
below
like
and
totally
again,
pro
feel free
gun,
to create
totally don't
cosmic
care about
action local
abortion.
for
Just
making
like
me aware of such ideas
people need to
and
live their
nuances.
lives.
I am
and
going to paraphrase the
the
relevant
government
comment
should
while
not
showing the
impede
original
on how
on screen.
people operate their own
The term
bodies.
used in
You know what I
Japanese
mean?
for the Outer Gods is Sotanaru, and this term is used to define beings outside of
Bro.
the system,
I suck at
In this
streaming.
case, the Elden Order, and thus it is
You
what
want to know
makes them
something? A secret?
external or
I
external
am the
gods.
one who got
The idea that they are cosmic
I am
beings is
John
largely a
from
Western
into streaming.
understanding.
You know that, right?
And again, the greater will is never
I
referred to as
just
an
didn't have the
outer
PC
god.
yet
And
when I
linguistically
showed
in
him how to
Japanese,
do it
is more
because my
likened to
PC
the
that I had
biblical
had
god.
previously
And indeed, this
was
the
very
main thesis of
underpowered.
my greater will
And that was the
video.
PC I was actually
And I'll link that
making
below in case you
our
want to watch
videos
it.
on with my brother was
Carrying
the
on with
smaller
comment,
PC, and then
great
since I
cosmic
got the new
accidental
PC,
suggests that the
the
outer
$6,000
gods are more
PC,
closely aligned
he's
with
been
the
in his
kami
little
of
depression for the last year,
divine
or
manifestations of
since
nature,
March, because I think
which
that's when I got
came
my
into
PC.
existence via the Elden Ring, as they are all connected to earthly concepts such as blood.
It's
disease,
not-
and death. To have this idea elaborated,
Just imagine picking up a guitar or a new sport
I actually reached out
or
to
like
Sabaku's
a new
translator
activity
here,
that you want to do.
the source of these exact ideas, and I
That's
expect
basically
members
what
of
streaming
the
is at this
community
point.
and work with Sabaku to provide translations for their videos. And so I'm
You ever
very
watch
grateful for their
Metalocalypse in the
support
background I
helping
got
me
right
with
here?
this. They were able to confirm that this is indeed the prevailing opinion in the Japanese lore community, and I will quote them now and show the quotes on screen. As the commenter said, it is more than an idea of mine. It is one of the most popular interpretations in the Japanese community, and I, having played the game in Japanese, have found this interpretation
Oh,
more logical
shit.
and concrete for some
Johnny
instances in
subscribed.
the game. The general idea we have in the Western community is that the outer gods are a group of cosmic deities that fight
Oh,
against
shit.
each other for control over the lands between. But the more you delve into
I'm not
the
playing
lore,
with
the
I
more
Am
you
John
see
From.
this
I thought I
community
edited
is
that.
the
See, the
key
problem
element
with
to understand
Streamlabs
even
is
though
that
the
I
listeners
don't
to
actually.
Elden Ring and
It's
other
hard for
Souls
me
games are
to
Japanese
get my
based.
stupid ADD
Therefore,
brain
they
out of my
mainly
ass
heavily refer to
and
Japanese
make
cultural
sure
concepts,
that for
and
every
kami
thing
is
that
a
I'm
concept
playing
not
on,
so akin to one we have in the
I
Western
changed the title. So I have
Kami
like
are more akin to
Facebook,
natural forces,
I have
part of nature itself. They are water,
YouTube,
plants,
I have
trees, sun, moon, snow, etc.
Twitch, and then
outer
I
gods,
wanted to
in
do
my opinion,
Truvo,
and in the opinion of
but
the greater
I need to
part
start a
of the
profile for
Japanese
that.
community, just as that. Powers, energies that flow through the world, and that creatures can channel these energies with prayers and rituals. So thanks again, Mirko, for providing that information.
I mean, I
This
can
idea
understand
emerges
that for sure.
effectively as
What
it
are the
answers
top
in
5
what
games that
issues
you played this
that I
year,
have
though?
in
I'm
my
just
own
curious.
conceptualizations
You know what I mean?
of the outer gods.
I
It
forget
makes
my
them fit
nasal
more neatly
neatness.
into
I'm
some
gonna
of
have
the
to
situations
pause
we see
and
in
probably
Elden
go
Ring.
get some nose spray
But
because
what
my
are the
nose is so
kami?
bad.
Wikipedia defines them as the following. In Shinto, kami are not separate from nature, but are of nature, possessing positive and negative, and good and evil characteristics.
If you want to
They are
fucking just
manifestations of
go into
Masuda,
Discord and
the
chat too,
interconnecting
man.
energy
Just
of the
fucking.
universe.
Oh, you love Deathclock
These
too?
are
Hell yeah.
interconnected sparks or entities
Dude,
that
you
are
would
of
like
nature,
people our age.
part of the interconnected
Like
energy
we
of
get
the
this shit.
fabric
It's
of the
so
world,
funny.
and they are not
Like,
gods in
remember
the
home
traditional
movies?
sense.
Oh, dude, the guy
They take
from
form of concepts,
Archer's in it. The
fundamental
Coach McGurk.
concepts. And more importantly, they are not necessarily external to the greater will.
I was
of
like
the
one of
Elden
the
Ring
first
world.
cartoons with
They
him
are
in
in
it.
fact part of its creation, but are only external.
Then it went
due
to
its
Archer, and
creation
then he
and the
became
current global agenda.
Bob's
And indeed
Burgers.
Later, we will look at other spirits in the world that may also be kami, but are not described as outer or external.
Yeah, I posted
such as
this
the
TV behind
Fairy
me
of Shifra River. So where did the kami of this world come from?
because I
If they
want
are part of
to.
the Elden Ring's order, as
My
Mirko
mom's old
suggests,
TV was
did
going
they
to
come
crap,
from?
so I decided to take it
In many
and
videos
just
I've
clear
seen
out the
since
cache and all
the
the
arrival
memory
of
in
the
it.
Elden Beast and the greater will
She bought an
is the
OLED,
beginning of all ordered life.
but I also have an OLED. But mine cost double.
I'm of course referring to the description found in the Elden Stars incantation, which reads as follows. It is said that long ago, the greater well sent...
Okay,
Elden
I'm gonna have to learn how to do
bearing
that because I'm
beasts
still
into
trying to
life.
figure out how to. See, this is
Which
the whole
would
thing
later
about
become
streaming is I'm
the
still
Elden
trying to
Ring.
figure this shit out
I
too.
believe that it was this
So
arrival
I
of the
get where
Elden
you're
Ring
coming from.
that ordered life
I just
as we know
need
it,
to.
that it was its presence
I probably
and
need to do it on
influence
Twitch.
that fractured the one great and stimulated diverse life. Mirko was also helpful enough to give their
Yeah, I probably have
opinion
to do that through
and
Twitch.
the opinion from the
Pretty
Japanese
sure.
lore community on this subject as well. And again, I quote them now. For this interpretation
trying
about the
to
outer gods being natural forces, more
Do
than cosmic
multi-platform
gods, it
stuff,
is
but
implied
I
they
also
were
want to
born
be able to
the
reach
instant the greater will
you
sent the golden star into
and
the
people
land
from
between,
YouTube that I
named
know.
the Elden Ring.
And
With
I
this
had it on
interpretation,
Facebook,
it's implied
but
the
for some
natural
reason it
forces
can't
are real
authenticate my
life,
Facebook
i.e.
recently.
the outer god.
All my friends on Facebook can
Therefore,
actually
this theory
can't watch
proposes
right
that
now,
these
which is
outer
really fucking
gods
lame.
are in fact manifestations of the fundamentals of life and are a result of the Elden Ring's ordering of life.
I'm gonna
They
go
are the
clear my nose out real
fundamentals
quick.
of
Give me a
life
second.
made manifest. Of course, something that is very fundamental to our lives is making time to eat healthy, and that's where today's sponsor, Factor, comes in. Factor is dedicated to helping you eat more optimally by cutting out prep, stress, and meal planning. by delivering quality, chef-prepared meals right to your doorstep. These recipes use the freshest ingredients, including meals for those who follow keto, low-cal, vegan, or vegetarian lifestyles. Do you think that Godfrey, first Elden Lord, lures himself to fast food? No, look at those arms. My man uses Factor to help him avoid ordering in, by getting no-nonsense delicious food that's ready fast. Factor's chef-prepared meals help you remove the guesswork involved in eating well. Plus, Factor is faster than any takeaway anyway, with most meals being ready to eat in 2 minutes or less, with a massive variety of meals and over 33 add-ons like smoothies, keto shakes, and desserts. Factor have been kind enough to offer Smoketown viewers a great deal. Use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGSMO60 for 60% off your first box. Thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video, and now, back to the lore. I referred the subject of God to Last Protagonist, a friend of the channel and respected authority on the Japanese translation of Elden Ring. On the subject of outer gods, they said the following. It's kind of difficult to broach. Linguistically, the word for outer gods can be taken more along the line of being external, but it is also used to mean outer gods in Lovecraft's work. The issue is, in English, when we hear outer, we tend to think of outer space, but those connotations aren't as strong in Japanese. These ideas from Last Protagonist line up with Axolotl's comments and Mirko's information, in which they claim the common idea that in the Japanese lore community, the outer gods are only outer or external because they are external to the current order only, and that the connotations of outer space are less prominent in the Japanese itself. So to break down
Create a channel,
the idea
redeem,
posits
where
that
your
instead of the
viewers
outer
can give
gods
you a heads
being
up.
rival
Yeah, I saw
cosmic
that.
beings
Okay.
competing
Just wanted to make
for
sure you didn't
control
say anything
of
before
the
I...
lands between and mortal plane, that they are
I was like,
instead a
what?
consequence of the Elden Ring, spirits that govern certain facets and elements of the world that was ordered by the Elden Ring, spirits of nature, entities that represent certain fundamental concepts. And they are as much a part of this world as anything else, but they are only external because they fall out with the current ruling order. Their exclusion is essentially political or ideological from those who exist within the lands between. This sort of idea helps me reconcile some of the difficulties I've had with
On my work phone, I created a
as
separate
rival.
account so I can watch everyone separately and
And
troll
the main example
Kyle.
of this is
Remember
related
that?
to Millennium's story. We learn the following from Ranni on the subject of Empyreans.
Oh my god, that's
I
funny.
was
On my
once
phone,
an
it bleeps out.
of the
Laugh my
demigods.
ass off. It's
Only
like all
I,
asterisks.
Nicola, and Elena could claim that title. Each of us was chosen by our own 2 fingers as a candidate to succeed Queen Marika, to become the new god of the coming age, which is when I received Blythe, in the
That's
form of
funny.
a vassal tailored for an Empyrean.
Ranni, Mikola, and Melania are the Empyreans of the current era.
Oh, that
We learn
fucking
this
psycho
was a
guitarist.
position once held by Marika as well, via Malekith's
I hope you ever have
This
watched
implies
the
that all
Death
Empyreans
Clock
are
movie.
chosen
It's on
by the greater
Amazon.
will as
It's an
potential candidates
hour-long
for
Death
that all
Harmonic.
gods were once Empyreans.
Pretty sweet.
A sort of nominee system, and that these are the 3 nominees to take over Marika's reign. That is, of course, until the events of the Shattering, where the Greater Will ultimately abandon the demigods, but that is, of course, another story.
I was watching Asmongold when I
What this
first
means is
started,
that at
and
one
he
point,
was
Millennia
playing
was the
Elden
successor
Ring, and
candidate
then
to take
they had
over
a
from
stupid
God's
OTK
Marika.
event
This
out of
initially seemed to
nowhere,
mesh well with the information
and then he
found
quit
in Millennia's
doing
ending.
that, and I got butthurt. And this is why I'm
Mikola and
streaming
Melania are
what I'm
both the
streaming.
children of a single god.
I want to play Soul
such, they
Hackers,
are
but I'm
both
still working,
Empyreans.
so I'm just
But
sitting
both
here.
suffered afflictions from birth. One was cursed with eternal childhood, the other harbored rot within.
Soul Hackers,
This is
Elden
detail that I
Ring,
have discussed previously in my Melania lore video,
Splunky,
which I have
or
last protagonists verify with their own
Cyberpunk.
translation.
I want to play
Simply the
Cyberpunk because I
special
want
nature of
the.
Melania and Miko's birth that led to their selection as an Empyrean.
Is there? I didn't know
i.e.
that.
they are born of a single-bodied
Well,
god
okay.
of Marika /
Oh yeah, well,
This again is
that's on my
reinforced by
side
Melania's
account. I had
great
no
ring
idea,
of
but I just thought that was a really
Melania
funny
is
thing
daughter of
that
Queen Marika
they
and
had
her
already
brother,
included
and her great
without
ring
me
should have been no
realizing
secret at
that.
all.
I was
Again,
like,
this
wait, why is
reinforces
it doing
the idea
that?
because Melania is born of
There.
Marika
I
Ranni,
showed it.
the
It says
immortal
laugh my
leader's
ass off.
partnership, that she and her twin are special, and thus they were chosen to be an Empyrean.
But yeah,
Yet
I
this
really
may
want to
look
finish
a bit more
Cyberpunk
confusing by a
because
dialogue
there's
from
this
Gowrie, an adherent
secret ending you
of
can
the Order
get.
of Rot, who wishes Melania to ascend to Goddess of Rot. They say the following.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's only like a couple of dollars per episode, but I think you can buy like each season for like $10 or $20. It's super cheap. Do not buy season 3 though. Like, it's really weird. All the episodes are split up, and you can't buy the whole
I've always
season
found the terms
for season
and
3.
language used here by Gowrie very interesting. I've always explained it away in my head.
It used to be
that
on
Melania was
Hulu,
born
but it's
in a
not
Western
anymore.
Empyrean, but
It
later
might
was
be on
special
HBO
with
Max.
But that isn't really the
If
truth,
you want to try
because
that,
in
because they
remembrance
usually
of
have a lot of
Melania,
Cartoon
it says that she was
Network
born with
originals.
distinction. So she must have been elected as an Empyrean despite the scarlet rot within her. And in fact, Gowrie even seems to suggest here that she was chosen to be Empyrean because she could be a potential goddess of rot. And so if that is true, then it really does contradict the kind of prevailing idea that the outer gods are rival gods, because if the god of rot is a rival god to the greater will that is seeking to usurp the greater will, Malenia was born with the scarlet rot. Why was she chosen as an Empyrean to succeed Lord Marika? In one of my favourite Rathaskor Elden Ring lore videos,
Why was she chosen as an Empyrean?
The Greater Will doesn't care about the Golden Order.
Ooh.
Their thesis being that the Greater Will is only concerned with a form of order being imposed, no matter what form that order takes. I will link that video below, but in essence, what Rathaskor uses to illustrate this point is the engraving of the Elden Ring found within Fire Missoula, which clearly has a different, more chaotic, and more cool rune makeup than the more stripped back one of the Golden Order. And they suggest that the dragons and their Elden Lord, Prosidusax, brandished the Elden Ring in a more early time.
It's a good boss battle right there, Prosidusax.
Far removed from what we would see.
I almost want to play Elden Ring now.
I too ascribe to this idea.
Movie's already
The
over?
Order has now faltered
Jesus.
and failed. And as the Tarnished, we are elected by the Two Fingers,
That's
and thus
fast.
the Greater Will, to replace it with a new order. And we can rebuild the Elden Ring as we see fit, and establish a number of new orders depending on our beliefs. The Order of Fracture.
Oh yeah, there's a new Rick and Morty episode that came out last night too.
Or the Order
Oh yeah,
of the
thanks,
Dust
bro. I
Whatever
put
order we choose, we
Millennia on the back of it, or Melena, Melena, whatever.
the outer gods, nebulous, influential, and utterly
See?
intriguing.
Like a little
Very
sticker.
few topics in Elden Ring are of more
It's
interest.
an
to
E-rig, so I got a
no
little
doubt
automatic
result
thingy
of
on
their
it, so all I gotta do is that.
interpretation
And I don't know if you knew, Johnny, but I make my own materials.
Bloodborne presented
So
the
I
idea
make,
of gods to the Soulsborne community.
I make dabs.
And as a result, it is easy
So I have
to
a
view
dab
outer
press
gods
that I
through a
make it
single
with.
lens.
I
And
don't know
this
if you've
is
seen that on one of my
entirely
streams.
given
I'll
the
show you
massive
real quick.
cosmic elements present throughout the game, and the fact that the term outer god is a term used in the expanded Lovecraftian mythos. But is this the correct understanding of these beings? Or are we, as a Western audience, missing something? Is there something deeper that the outer gods are meant to be? Or whether you ascribe
this
to the theory
guy,
that the greater
right
will
here,
is a supreme being, or
It's
not,
my dab press.
some of the interactions between the greater will's order and the outer gods makes our understanding of the latter confused. Instances where we see these apparently opposing forces playing a role within the Elden Ring's domain, or instances of contradictory information.
That
regarding
thing
two
is where I
figures.
get my oils from. I grow
Do
my
these outer
own,
gods, in fact, present something different?
let's just say,
Concepts of fundamental laws
medication.
manifest, brought about through the power of the Elden Ring itself.
I grow my own
Clearly defined
medication,
excluded by the current
I
order.
cure it, let it
In
dry,
this video, we will do
and
our
then
best to answer the
press
question
it.
of the
So
outer
if you
gods
saw on
by
like
looking at it more carefully
Kyle's
from a
Discord,
Japanese
I am John
cultural
from or
perspective.
whatever.
So join me this week, guys.
I know him as
as we try and
Kyle.
answer
You
the
already know
question,
that.
what
We've been
are
friends for a long
the outer
time.
gods?
When he
Before
came
we start,
over, he
guys,
took some
remember
pictures of
that
my
if you
rig.
like
One of the
Elden
first
Ring
times he
lore,
saw it,
then please
he's like,
subscribe
"I'm
to
gonna
my
buy
channel
this
and
thing
have hours of
as
Elden
soon
Ring
as I
lore
buy my own
for you to
house,
enjoy."
and I'm pressing my own weed."
I was wrong. That is how I want to start this video, and it isn't the first time that I've admitted such a thing. And I do think it is important for me as a lore theorist, and for us as a lore community, to continually change and evolve our perspectives on certain subjects. In my last lore video on the Greater Will, I posited the theory that the Greater Will is the god with a capital G, and I stand by my premise that the Greater Will is something distinct from the outer gods. However, something that I acknowledge that didn't quite fit right was my characterization of the outer gods themselves. I posited that the Greater
Your
Will
baby
was
lungs, bro.
the greater
Weed,
gods,
regular
and the
weed
outer
kills
gods were
me.
rival cosmic
What are you
beings,
talking about?
akin to Bloodborne's old ones. Viewers were right in pointing out holes in this
For me
argument
though,
I did not
regular
address
weed kills
properly,
me because
such as describing the outer gods as cosmic
I-
deities, trying to
Bro,
corrupt the creation
hurts,
of the
like,
Greater Will.
at
But as pointed out by commenters, the outer god of the Deathbirds, for example,
stuff I got right
is
here.
not a
It's
corrupting
fire.
force. Rather, all we see of the Deathbirds is that they are
But
guides
I
of
get
the
like
dead
this sharp.
and overseers of the funerary rite.
You know how like whenever you
I acknowledge that these types of questions did
poking
hinder
yourself
my
or
characterization of the outer
itching,
gods
bro,
as
that's what it
lesser
feels
cosmic
like
deities to the Greater Will.
all day.
And ultimately,
smoke
it has
flower.
led me to try and understand the outer
I think it's
gods
because maybe
and
I
what they are
smoked-
really. To that end, I do think that we, of the Western lore community, have a lot to gain by tapping into the ideas being discussed in the Japanese lore community.
Yeah,
And that is in
Sucks,
part what I
'cause
aim to
I
do
smoke flower,
in
it's
this
just like-
video.
my brother bought
Is
me
at
a
this
bomb.
point, I need to make it clear that some of these ideas are not my original ones. Rather, they came to my attention via the Great Cosmic Axolotl, a viewer who commented these ideas on one of my community posts. And in turn, they cite the famous Italian YouTuber Tobacco no Mako as their original source in episode 38 of their Elden Ring co-op playthrough, so I will link that video below, and again full credit to Correct Cosmic Axolotl for making me aware of such ideas and nuances. I am going to paraphrase the relevant comment while showing the original on screen. The term used in Japanese for the outer gods is Sotanaru, and this term is used to define beings outside of a group or system, and in this case, the Golden Order, and thus it is what makes them external or outer gods. The idea that they are cosmic beings is largely a Western understanding, and again, the Greater Will is never referred to as an outer god, and linguistically in the Japanese, it is more likened to the biblical god, and indeed this was the main thesis of my Greater Will lore video, and I'll link that below in case you haven't watched it. Carrying on with the comment, Great Cosmic Axolotl suggests that the outer gods are more closely aligned with the kami of Shintoism, divine manifestations of nature, which came into existence via the Elden Ring, as they are all connected to earthly concepts such as blood, disease, and death. To have this idea elaborated on and explained to me in more detail, I actually reached out to Subaku's translator called Mirko, a source of these exact ideas and a respected member of the lore community, and work with Subaku to provide translations for their videos, and so I am very grateful for their support in helping me with this video. They were able to confirm that this is indeed the prevailing opinion in the Japanese lore community, and I will quote them now and show the quotes on screen. As the commenter said, it is more than an idea of mine. It is one of the most popular interpretations in the Japanese community,
green dabs,
and I, having played the game in Japanese, have found this interpretation more logical.
When I first did dabs, I used to pass
the general
out
idea we
for
have
like
in the Western
half
community
hour
is that the outer gods are a
or
group
less.
of cosmic deities that fight against each other for
Like,
control
this shit was
over the
so
lands
intense.
between.
But I make
But
my
the more you
own,
delve
which
into
has
the lore,
all the
the more you see
CBN,
that this theory
CBD,
is pretty weak.
CBA,
The key detail to understand is that even with a Western aesthetic,
all the shit in
Elden Ring and other
regular
Souls
weed
games
instead
are
of
Japanese games.
THC.
Therefore,
So
they
it has
mainly
all the
and
good
heavily refer
benefits.
to Japanese cultural concepts, and
So,
kami is a
rosin's really
concept not so akin to one we have in the Western world. Kami are more akin to natural forces, part of nature itself. They are water, plants, trees, sun, moon, snow, etc. The outer gods, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the greater part of the Japanese community, just as that. Powers, energies that flow through the world, and that creatures can channel these energies with prayers and rituals.
Yeah, man.
So thanks
I mean, I
again,
still
Mirko,
smoke
for
flower,
providing
but
that information. This idea immediately clicked with me, as it answers a lot of the issues that I have with my own conceptualizations of the
I just
outer
smoke some
gods.
that I grow,
It
but
makes them fit more neatly into some of the situations we see in Elden Ring.
You know
But
what your
what are the
problem
kami?
is you need to take smaller
Wikipedia
dabs.
defines them as the
Take
following.
little baby ones.
In Shinto, kami are not
Brother's a
separate from
fucking
nature,
fool, and he takes
bar
ones the
of
size
nature,
of my pinky nail,
possessing
man.
positive
He's
and
crazy.
negative,
And
and
he's
good
always
and evil
wondering why he falls
characteristics.
asleep in the fucking
They are
chair.
manifestations of
Motherfucker
Masude,
takes the giant
the
dabs.
interconnecting
And
energy
it just sits
of the
there
universe.
like it's nothing.
These are interconnected
Bro.
spirits or entities
Even I'm not
that
even
are
like
of
that.
nature, part of the interconnected energy of the fabric
All
of
ones
the
are
world,
just-
and they are
they're
not
like-
gods in the
like
traditional
this, and
Western
then-
sense. Rather, they take form of concepts, fundamental
I don't
concepts,
like
important to life, and more importantly, they are not necessarily external to the Greater Will or the Elden Ring's world. They are in fact part of its creation, but are only external due to their exclusion from the current Order's agenda. And indeed later we will look at other spirits in the world that may also be kami, but are not described as outer or external, such as the Blue Fairy of Shifra River. So where did the kami of this world come from? If they are part of the Elden Ring's order, as Mirko suggests, when did they come to be? In many videos I have discussed the idea that the arrival of the Elden Beast and the Greater Will is the beginning of all ordered life on this mortal plane. For those who need reminding of this event, I am of course referring to the description found in the Elden Stars incantation, which reads as follows. It is said that long ago, the Greater Will sent a golden star, bearing a beast into the lands between, which would later become the Elden Ring. I believe that it was this arrival of the Elden Ring that ordered life as we know it, that it was its presence and influence that fractured the one great and stimulated diverse life. Mirko was also helpful enough to give their opinion, and the opinion from the Japanese lore community on this subject as well. And again, I quote them now. For this interpretation, about the outer gods being natural forces more than cosmic gods, it is implied they were born the instant the Greater Will sent the golden star into the lands between, being the Elden Ring. With this interpretation, it is implied the natural forces are born with it, i.e. the outer gods. Therefore, this theory proposes that these outer gods are in fact manifestations of the fundamentals of life, and are a result of the Elden Ring's ordering of life. They are the fundamentals of life made manifest.
Uh.
Of course, something that is very
These guys
fundamental
do
to
make
our
some
lives
fucking
is making time to eat healthy, and that's where today's sponsor, Factor, comes in. Factor is dedicated to helping you eat more optimally by cutting out prep, stress, and meal planning, by delivering quality, chef-prepared meals right to your doorstep. These recipes use the freshest ingredients, including meals for those who follow keto, low-cal, vegan, or vegetarian lifestyles. Do you think that God
See my book, bro? I got the Elden Ring book. Let's look, man. Like $60 on Amazon. Like, no way. You have to forgive me. Literally the only person I probably hate. You see what level I am on this, Johnny? Just even guess. I was like, where's that coming from? Ah! There used to be this glitch. Ah, my mic, I can hear you. Can't hear me? Is that better? Ha! Hey, check this out. You can hear me, right? Oh. Oh, weird. Wait, are you getting like audio interference? Hold on. Can you hear me at all? It's really weird. I don't know if it's like a noise gate, because all of a sudden my mic isn't going down when it's supposed to. Hold on, wait. Let me try this. Oh. Yo, is this clear enough? PCs are very finicky. Okay, cool. I just want to... I was like, so this is my character on my original profile. This is level. What is shit? My message was a praise. My message was a praise. No audio interference for me. Okay, cool. I turned my mic up. There. Ah! Jeez. I want to see. Yoink. Gotta do the fire giants. I want to do this. I don't want to do this, bro. Gonna do it. Have you played Elden Ring yet? At all? Later, broski. You're leaving. I am probably gonna try and defeat this fire giant for some giggles. This is my second playthrough on Elden Ring. Only way I would have this sword if I beat the game. Sword that I have right here. I think that just annihilates. Tony? Ah. Oh shit. Never mind. Fuck no! I ain't gonna fight this guy by myself. This guy's nuts. Damn. Huh. Oh, hell yeah! I didn't know you could summon Alexander for this shit. Cool. Oh my god, I almost have 500,000 runes. Just haha. What the f- You know what I'm thinking of? Algelmir. That bot. I thought he was right here though.
I have long observed the lands between. This world is in dire need of repair and death. Indiscriminate. Are you prepared to commit a cardinal sin? Very well. Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment. O Erd Tree, you shall burn. Burn for the sake of the new Lord.
I never got this part before because last time I did the chaos thing before I burned the Erd Tree. Burned the Erd Tree with my kid.
Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye.
Fucking dragons everywhere. Show me. Let me be careful. Never mind. GG. I didn't know that. Fuck your blight. Let's see. I need vape juice, water. Oh my god, there's like a giant one. No, 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 no! Ate me. Literally. no, 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 no! Come on. Really? I'm so far from it. Yes and no. I always want to see poop. Oh my god. Oh, nice of you to walk over me. Hi. Stupid death blight. What? No! Yes! Finally. Her? Stupidest item. it. Yeah. Need a lot of room still. Strong as fuck. Ah! Oh my goodness. Fuck.
I knew you'd be back. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing.
Take a look around. The round table hold is burned, razed to the ground. Don't worry, I don't blame you. I'll continue spirit tuning just the same as before, which is why I need your help persuading Master Hugh to leave. His roots are so knotted in this place. He won't last much longer if he stays here. His shackles are broken. He's a free man now. It's high time he put the round table behind him.
You've done it, I see. What use do you have for me now? I am a finger reader. I will remain here until their dialogue ends and the fingers speak again. Do as you please. Take whatever course seems most worthy to you. Now you may go. You'd fall. Ah. Now, do what you don't want to see.
done with the Elden Ring for today. I'll say I did pretty good though. Trying to figure out. Play.